Hey guys, Dr. Josh Axe here along with Jordan Rubin. Welcome to Ancient Nutrition Today. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that is really going to help you females out there. We're going to be covering the 8 dangerous nutritional deficiencies that can cause a lot of female health issues. It can cause hormonal issues such as hypothyroidism, problems such as PMS, other issues such as digestive distress, adrenal fatigue, and a whole lot more we're going to be covering on today's episode. And also, we are on mission today. We want to help women transform their health. And there are millions of women right now struggling with nutritional deficiencies and they don't even know it. And it can be causing their hormonal issues, digestive issues, and many other health conditions today. So be on mission with us. And Jordan, I know that you've consulted thousands of women over the years, helping them get healthy. Talk to me about how common nutritional deficiencies are in women today.
They're very common. In fact, what we're going to talk about today are not only specific nutrients, meaning vitamins and minerals, but deficiencies in beneficial compounds that are not a vitamin or a mineral, but are very, very important. And to add to what Josh was saying, there are certain compounds that women need to protect their urinary tract, their brain, energy levels. So if you're a woman today, you're going to learn not only what some of the top nutritional deficiencies are, you're going to learn what those are causing in your body and what foods, supplements, essential oils, and herbs you need to remedy those deficiencies. And here's a little secret. These work for men as well. In fact, so many issues that women have are mirrored in issues that men have. And we're seeing that in literature. We're seeing that certainly in marketing and advertising today as well. So if you're somebody who knows someone who wants to get healthier and sort of understand that complex puzzle that is your health, you're in for a treat.
Okay, well, Jordan, let's dive right in. Let's talk about the number one nutrient you have here. Iron is a major deficiency in women.
And there's a reason. When I do seminars and talk to women and coach them about their health, I have had more times than I can count. Women say that I'm low in energy. I have brain fog. I'm borderline depressed. I just don't feel alive. And then they go on to say to me that they eat a plant-based diet and they list a bunch of other things. And I say, well, have you ever considered eating red meat? And then they say, oh no, red meat's bad for you. I've been avoiding it. And I say, nicely, how's that working out for you? Folks, here's the deal. Iron deficiency, which also can lead to hemoglobin issues. So low hemoglobin, which is the oxygen carrying protein in the body. So if you don't transport oxygen, you don't feel alive. There's been this bias against red meat, and particularly in women, women seem to gravitate towards not eating red meat. They feel like, well, I only eat chicken, or I don't eat any meat, I only eat dairy and eggs, or I don't eat dairy and eggs, I'm a vegan. There's way more vegans that are women than there are men, but the bottom line is when you are a menstruating woman, you lose iron every month. And some lose more than they think. And so I want to encourage you, not just for the iron that it brings, not just for the energy and the brain power and just the general feeling of wellness, so much more. I want to encourage you, if you're a female out there that lacks energy, maybe you haven't been tested for iron deficiency, you might have subclinical iron deficiency. I encourage you to eat healthy red meat. I'm talking about pasture-raised beef. Lamb is one of my favorites. Bison is amazing. Venison is amazing. Those are all powerful. And what's even more powerful, we've talked about this, organ meats. If you really want an infusion of iron, the richest source out there would be liver and heart from healthy lamb, beef, venison, and bison. So women out there, make sure to consume red meat. I know what you're going to get asked right now. I already know it. How much red meat is too much? When you have a taste for it, easily 3 times a week you can consume red meat, organ meats once a week, and I promise you, you will see an increase in iron in your blood, ferritin levels will go up, hemoglobin will go up, you'll feel better, and you'll prove all those naysayers or meat haters wrong.
And we had a few comments and questions here, Jordan. One said, we have one comment from somebody who's saying that whenever they take iron supplements, it upsets their stomach.
Absolutely. That's very, very common. So iron supplements can be very difficult on the gut. Also, when I was very ill, I got iron injections, and it's like this thick fluid, one of the most painful. There are some forms of iron that are better to consume in supplement form if you know you're deficient. That would include fermented or enzyme activated iron. They're proven to be gentle on the stomach, but typical iron supplements, especially those that are recommended in hospital settings or by the doctor, can cause constipation, bloating, etc. But diet won't do it. Now, if you are someone who is on a plant-based diet, the best way to get iron, even though it's in a less absorbable form, is to consume, in my opinion, green foods that are rich in chlorophyll. So the cereal grasses, parsley, cilantro, etc. And there are certain herbs that are rich in iron, and nuts, seeds, raisins, dried fruits are a good source of iron, but it won't be nearly as absorbable as good old-fashioned red meat. And you know what else? Pretty interesting. White meat, or I should say poultry, dark meat, chicken has iron. Fish has some iron, but red meat, iron, the color red is because it's got myoglobin, hemoglobin, etc. in the meat. So try to eat a little red meat. If you're a vegan, go for powerful green foods and a balance of other fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds.
Absolutely. Great advice, Jordan. So again, if you're one of those people with symptoms, especially around the time of menstruation, where you're just feeling you're just feeling low on energy, just wiped and tired all the time, that could be a big warning sign that you are iron deficient. Jordan, let's talk probiotics. In fact, the thing that I think is so important about probiotics here is that it can actually help support all of these other deficiencies. And so we talk about this all the time. You are what you digest. Probiotics support digestion. For most of us during our lifetime, Jordan, most people do not have near enough probiotics in their diet because they've taken antibiotics. If you've ever taken a prescription antibiotic drug, or you've drinking a lot of fluorinated and chlorinated water, you've eaten meat products that are non-organic, that have antibiotic residue and all of these other things, we're killing off the good bacteria in our guts, and we need to be replenishing it daily. We know probiotics are responsible for one, nutrient absorption, but even creating certain vitamins and nutrients within your body. So probiotics are absolutely critical to be getting in your diet. We know number one, getting more fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, kvass, coconut kefirs, doing raw cheeses. There are a lot of probiotic foods, but I would say at the top of the list, getting some fermented vegetables in your diet daily is really going to help with probiotic. And then take a probiotic supplement. Look for those SBO probiotics, the soil-based organisms, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus clausi, Bacillus coagulans, and then also things like Lactobacillus plantarum. But get probiotics in your diet because it's going to help with absorption of all of these nutrients.
Absolutely. So I did in my not so great handwriting, talked about iron being for energy. Let's go with probiotics for the gut and urinary tract. Ladies, this is really, really important. When you have consistent urinary tract issues, UTIs, I believe long-term probiotic use in diet and supplements can really remedy that. So now let's go to number 3, and vitamin D has so many benefits. This is really easy to determine, right? If you have the blues and it's coming up on winter, and I don't know about you, Josh, I don't do as well with gray skies. I mean, the snow looks cool, but then it's the melted snow. Anyway, I'm a Florida guy and I do better in sunshine, but so many people spend a lot of time out of the sun in winter climates. Vitamin D is so important for so many areas, but since we have 8 great nutrient deficiencies, I'm gonna focus on vitamin D and its ability to support your mood. That's an easy one. So we'll write mood by vitamin D, and here's how you get vitamin D in the winter, because we know there's not a lot of sun. Now, when there is sun in the winter, make sure to sit out and at least get your face and your eyes and some of your arms exposed. It's pretty interesting. I haven't skied a lot, but there's times when I ski and it's really sunny and I could get sunburned. And windburned, and anyway, because the sun reflects off the snow. You can get sun in the winter, but you could also consume foods rich in vitamin D, and one of the best is salmon. Another one are the organ meats we talked about, or take a cod liver oil supplement. So vitamin D levels can be measured by your doctor. They're not always standard in your physical, so to speak, or your yearly exam, but ask for vitamin D testing. Go online, even drax.com, and look up your optimum vitamin D levels. If you're deficient, that's great news because you can easily bring them up. And the easiest way to bring them up is supplementation.
Absolutely.
When it comes to vitamin D, which is really a hormone, and that's why it's so important for your health, I recommend 5,000 to 10,000 IUs a day in supplement form, in addition to consuming egg yolks, salmon, cod liver oil, organ meats, all rich sources of vitamin D, and mushrooms have some vitamin D too.
Yeah, and I would say the number of people, both men and women, that are deficient in vitamin D is over 80%. I mean, it is really high. It's a chronic deficiency people have, and it's important for mood, it's important for immunity, it's important for hormones, it is important for so many things. And especially as we're getting into the winter season right now, now is the most important time to start addressing and taking care of your body and getting vitamin D on a daily basis, especially in supplement form, as Jordan talked about. Or hey, if it gets warm enough, you can get outside, get some bare skin in the sun. Absolutely do it. We've got to have more vitamin D in our diets. And again, this is a major nutritional deficiency in women today that's contributing to mood issues, hormone imbalance, immunity problems, and a whole lot more. You know, magnesium is really, it's a mineral that's responsible for so many different functions within your body. And oftentimes it's referred to as the relaxation mineral.
Yes.
If you're a person who maybe gets those knots in your neck and trap muscles, that can actually be a warning sign that you're stressed and you also have a magnesium deficiency. Chronic constipation issues can sometimes be related to magnesium issues. So magnesium helps your body relax. It helps it function better. It's good for the bones. It's good for a lot, right?
It absolutely is. And there are a few easy ways to get magnesium in the body. Number one, consume a wide variety of mineral-rich foods. So this would be plant foods, herbs, spices. A lot of herbs are surprisingly rich in magnesium.
Yeah.
We definitely don't get enough of it. It's not in the soil as much as we need it. So eat a wide variety of plant foods. You can take oral magnesium, which similar to iron can cause some issues if it's the wrong form, but I like fermented magnesium or enzyme activated magnesium. And one of my favorite ways to get magnesium is to use magnesium oil topically, which is really a sea mineral infusion. You spray it on your abdomen, you can spray it on areas that hurt. It's great. And if we're gonna sort of characterize magnesium, I would say stress and sleep.
There you go.
Stress and sleep. How many women out there deal with issues related to stress and cause them not to sleep? So many women, mothers, executives, or both, carry a lot of weight. The women out there have so much of a burden on them today more than ever. If you want less stress and better sleep, magnesium may be called the master mineral.
Absolutely. Magnesium is huge. As Jordan talked about, green leafy vegetables are very high. Herbs and spices are very high. Dark chocolate, I know many women's favorite comfort food and favorite dessert, at least for my wife, loves dark chocolate. So again, that's high in magnesium, cacao powder. So get some more magnesium in your diet here. Jordan, let's jump here into number 5, vitamin K.
This used to be called the hidden vitamin. We now know that vitamin D is arguably barely the most important.
Yeah.
Years ago it was vitamin C. Everyone talked about vitamin C, but vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, and it works really well in concert with vitamin K. Let's start off the bat right away saying vitamin K is critical for the bones. Now, we could say that about vitamin D and magnesium, and even some of these others, but vitamin K is critical for the bones. It's critical for the blood. It's critical for the brain. But by far, vitamin K helps calcium go in the right place. Notice we don't have calcium on here because we're looking at the 8 top deficiencies. Vitamin K helps your calcium go where it needs to and stay out of areas where it shouldn't be. Vitamin K1 is found in green leafy vegetables. Vitamin K2 is found in natto, which is a fermented soy food, and dairy, particularly certain types of cheeses, and then it falls off the map. There's not a lot of dietary sources of vitamin K. Supplementation is important. I recommend a supplement that is both K1 and K2, and as somebody asked earlier, what's the relationship between vitamin K and vitamin D? There's a dynamic relationship. You need to consume vitamin K, in my opinion, if you're going to consume vitamin D. Got to try to do both. They work together. A lot of vitamin D without vitamin K may not work as efficiently.
So vitamin K, critical as Jordan's talking about. Jordan, I remember there was a study years ago, and they showed that actually women who took isolated calcium supplements actually had a higher risk for heart disease. And it was believed by one of the researchers, he said, one of the issues is that if you're getting a lot of calcium in the wrong type, calcium carbonate, may even cause calcification of the arteries.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not getting K2, magnesium, and D, these things that really support magnesium absorption, then you may actually be causing more problems. So again, rather than taking an isolated calcium supplement, if you're going to take and you're really working on building strong bones, make sure you're also getting vitamin K, as Jordan's talking about, as well as magnesium and D in supporting building strong bones.
And it makes a lot of sense because green foods rich in K1 are also rich in magnesium, and they're a good plant source of calcium, and people always got sunshine. So if you think about it, this is not some newfangled science. This is ancient wisdom. This is ancient nutrition. So we're not giving you something new. We're putting the puzzle pieces together based on something that our ancestors have always done. And the women of old had such stronger bones. The incidence of osteopenia and osteoporosis is through the roof. Doesn't have to be that way. Vitamin K for strong bones.
Great. Got a question here, Jordan, for you from M. Webb. Do mushrooms contain any vitamin K or D?
Mushrooms can contain vitamin D. They're actually experimenting with various mushrooms that are exposed to UV light.
Okay.
The average mushroom you buy at the store does not contain a lot of vitamin D because it was grown indoors, but they can contain vitamin D2, which may not be as absorbable as D3, but the radiated ergosterol, which is vitamin D2, can still be an important source of vitamin D. Outdoor grown mushrooms will have it, indoor not as much.
Yeah. Another question here, Jordan. Can a multivitamin address all of these nutritional deficiencies?
If you have the right multivitamin, you will likely go a long way towards meeting these, but I really would say it this way. A proper diet, according to the drax.com principles, that combined with a correct food-based multivitamin should get you in really, really good shape as a foundation.
Well, Jordan, everyone watching this may want to know, well, what type of multivitamin should I be looking for? Because there are thousands of different multis out there today. What are some things to look for on a label when people are buying a good multivitamin to help some of these deficiencies?
Absolutely. Number one, you want it from food. Number two, you want the multi to be organic, and there's only a handful available on the market, so make sure that your multi has a USDA organic seal. Then you know that it's coming from not only food, but from organic food. And after that, you want to look for a good amount or a trace amount of some of these various nutrients. It's not about having a lot. People talk a lot about potency. Potency is the accuracy by which you hit your target. Think about it. So it's not about mass quantities. It's about the right form. So we want food, we want organic, and we want it to be with a broad spectrum of cofactors that you only can get from food. So if your multi's from food and it's organic, you're in really good shape.
That's great. Jordan, I'm going to have you talk about boron here. Now, boron is something to where it's probably the least well-known and least popular nutrient, I would say, on this entire list.
Boron, we're going to go ahead and say, is for hormones. Now, folks, keep this in mind. Each nutrient has multi-beneficial or multi-systemic effects. But boron we're going to talk about for hormones. Now, boron is actually very deficient in today's diet. I was reading some research that shows in ancient Israel, there may have been 10 to 20 times more boron in the soil, therefore in our foods. Boron is found in plant foods, it's found in berries, it's found in green foods, but you're not getting as much of it as you do as you used to. And so it's really important when you do take a multivitamin to get a small amount of boron, because boron is great for hormones in women and men, especially as you get towards the age of menopause. So I think the average woman in America today is dreadfully deficient in this very important mineral that can affect hormones, it can affect bones, it can affect the brain, but it really is dynamite. So when you combine boron with K and D and magnesium, I would take those over calcium any day of the week. Better yet, get them all, but that's what we're really, really missing.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one here is zinc, and Jordan, I'll write up here in a second, immunity when it comes to zinc. We know that zinc is so important for so many different functions in the body. Jordan, I remember working with some young kids when I first started practice, and a lot of parents would bring in their kids who were struggling with chronic issues with acne. And one of the things we started doing, we're doing antioxidants in zinc, and zinc had a profound effect on the skin. Also working with a lot of patients with leaky gut syndrome and immune-related problems. We know zinc really helps in helping actually the gut lining as well as your entire immune system. So if you have immune-related issues, skin-related issue as well, zinc is a critical mineral that we are missing in our diet. It's also chronically deficient, Jordan, in female athletes. If somebody is really working out, and I'm talking about especially CrossFit and endurance athletes, it can drain your body of zinc. And zinc also, if your sympathetic nerve system stays high, if you have a really high stress response, a lot of emotional stress, it's another thing that can drain zinc from your body. So again, zinc, a very important mineral, especially for the immune system. It's critical for the health of the gut and digestive system. Jordan, any other thoughts on zinc?
I really think that when it comes to zinc, in females, it is so important and underappreciated. I would say it is probably the most important vitamin or mineral for skin. So we're going to go skin and immune system. Zinc is found largely in animal food. So if you're someone who is on a plant-based diet, you're going to want to get more nuts and seeds, you're going to want to get more greens, etc. That'll be a source of zinc, but zinc is also plentifully found in red meat, and it's found in seafood as well. And then they're really important sources.
Awesome, great stuff. Remember this, if you are, as Jordan talked about just the segment before this, number one, eat a good diet. High in vegetables, organic meats, fruits, very high in those specifically, organic meat, fruits, and vegetables. The other thing is getting a good multi. Remember, certified organic and is food-based when you're buying a multi, to answer that question. Carol says, how much of a zinc supplement? Typically, if you're starting out, I would say 30 to 60 milligrams a day, probably 60. If you're sick, you can take upwards of 90 or 100 for a time. But as a maintenance dose, probably about 30 a day. If you know you've got minor deficiencies, probably 30 milligrams a day would be about the correct dosage there. Jordan, talk about vitamin B12 here.
I think vitamin B12 could be applied to the brain, certainly energy. When people think B12, they think energy, but I'm going to just categorize it this way. B12 builds the blood. There's a disease that is not as common today as it once was called pernicious anemia, which is B12 deficiency. B12 builds the blood. It helps the cells of the blood function better, arming your immune system, your brain, and your energy levels. B12 is found in animal foods. Once again, and see, that's the common thing, and I know plant-based dieters get upset, but if you look at a chart of the most nutrient-dense foods, sure, green food's gonna come up, but we see a lot of red meat, we see a lot of organ meats, we see a lot of egg yolks, we see a lot of fish, right? There's a reason. Even dairy products, because they are very nutrient dense despite what you've been told. B12 is not found in plant foods, but your probiotics can make it. So if you get more probiotics in your body, you're gonna make vitamin K, you're gonna make B12, other B vitamins as well, and you're gonna absorb minerals better. B12 is good for the blood, good for the brain, good for energy, and you can consume it in animal foods or consume a supplement. Again, I would want a food-based or fermented B12. And you can also get certain B12 analog foods. Spirulina is one. It's a superfood that contains a compound that is similar to B12, even though it's not B12. But when it comes to a plant-based diet, major deficiencies would be B12, iron, I would say certainly vitamin D, and there's a few others. If you are on a plant-based diet, make sure to be very careful to supplement. Zinc is also one that I would put very high on my list of supplements.
Yeah. Jordan, let's touch on a few common health conditions for women out there watching. Let's hit on our top three. If a woman right now is watching and she has issues with her thyroid, what would be some of your top nutrients? Maybe you can hit on one, I can hit on one, when it comes to thyroid problems specifically.
Absolutely. This is difficult because there's so many, but I'm going to go with vitamin D, number one. Vitamin D is critical for proper thyroid health. After all, it is a hormone.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I would say B12 is another big one there. If you've got thyroid issues, look at B12, look at vitamin D. Also consider a B vitamin complex overall, probiotics, and then herbs like ashwagandha. Jordan, how about adrenal fatigue? If somebody is having adrenal issues, what are some of your top tips?
You know, I think if someone's dealing with adrenal issues, I'm going to go back to B12 because B12 does support stress, as does some of these others out there, but B12 deficiency really goes along with adrenal fatigue based on what I've seen.
Yeah, I'd also mention probiotics here next to really support the absorption there of all of the B vitamins you're getting. So B12 and getting a B complex or probiotics, some of the best things for adrenals. Jordan, how about a woman that is struggling with immune-related issues like an autoimmune disease?
Autoimmune diseases definitely correlate with vitamin D deficiency. So I'm going to go D and K. Again, I could recommend each of these nutrients in optimal quantities for autoimmune or inflammatory conditions, but the D and K combo is critical for your immune system and your bones as well.
Yeah, I would mention here as well, probiotics and zinc also definitely support immune function. And this isn't a nutrient, Jordan, but I would say if somebody has autoimmune related issues, bone broth is a superfood they absolutely want to be getting in their diet. So again, getting bone broth in your diet with any type of immune related issues. Of course, it's good for everything, but that especially there as well. All right, Jordan, let's do a breakdown here and kind of run through a few things here. So again, number one here, iron for energy. So again, if you are especially going through your menstrual cycle and you're at the point to where you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, just weak and tired, you might need more iron. So get some red meat in your diet and get some quality iron. You might even try desiccated liver tablets or something like that, something to where you're getting more good iron in your diet.
Absolutely. Probiotics are great for the gut and to keep healthy urinary tract, not just when you have a UTI. I believe women that take more probiotics have better reproductive health, have less yeast infections, and better urinary tract health, not to mention the skin, the immune system, everything else.
Absolutely here. Vitamin D is huge, especially if you have seasonal depression. If you notice during a day and it's gray out and you're just feeling a little bit depressed and lack of motivation, that's a big warning sign, vitamin D deficiency, as well as immune related issues. And so I believe everyone this time of year should start getting vitamin D in their diet through a proper supplement, as well as things like wild caught salmon and egg yolks, cod liver oil, some good sources.
Absolutely. Magnesium for sleep and stress. It's the holiday season and boy, do you need it. We need more magnesium. Get it with green leafy vegetables. Various nuts, seeds, and herbs have it. Take a magnesium supplement or topically apply magnesium oil, maybe even an Epsom salt bath with some lavender. You need more magnesium this time of year for so many reasons.
Absolutely. Next thing here, vitamin K. Remember, there's a myth out there that calcium is the only thing that builds strong bones. In fact, you need vitamin K in your diet to build those strong bones. In fact, the other thing we didn't hit on here is heart health. Vitamin K is incredible for the heart. So again, for the heart, for the bones, for your entire circulatory system, vitamin K is a superfood you want to be getting.
The mineral you've probably neglected that helps balance hormones in women and also men is boron. We don't get enough of it in our soil. We can supplement with it or consume berries and other nutrient-dense fruits and some nuts and seeds, all rich sources of boron, which is really an unsung hero in hormone health.
Yeah. Hey, if you're getting down, you're starting to get the sniffles, any early warning signs of a cold or flu, that's a big warning sign that, hey, you need zinc in your diet. And also if somebody's struggling with chronic acne issues, it's another warning sign that they need more zinc.
Absolutely. And B12, great for the brain, energy, but it is a blood builder. You want to build the blood if you're an athlete, if you're an active mom, if you have adrenal issues, if you just need a boost. Vitamin B12 found in red meat, found in egg yolks. You can find vitamin B12 analogs in green superfoods such as spirulina, and even your probiotics, if they're boosted, makes your own B12.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, we want to mention this as well. As we've been talking about this video, we've been addressing the 8 most common nutritional deficiencies in women. And today there are millions of women that are struggling with chronic health issues because they don't know that they might be deficient in just one of these things that's causing them to have chronic health problems. And Jordan and I are on mission, and be on mission with us right now. Take a second and punch your share button if you want to help us spread the word on how to use food as medicine to help women heal their bodies naturally. Also, if you've loved this live video, feel free to click the love button. And also, Jordan and I are always doing live pop-ins. We do this same show every day at 10:30 a.m. or Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you're not subscribed here, make sure you subscribe. That way when Jordan and I are doing pop-ins or other videos in the future on hormone health, on women and other natural remedies, you'll be notified so you can watch the live video next time as well. Jordan, any last tips here for everybody?
I'm excited because going into the time of year where it's busiest, most stressful, where you put on the most weight, even 1 or 2 deficiencies in these nutrients behind us can cause serious issues. But better yet, if you're deficient, if your diet doesn't contain these nutrients, if you're not supplementing with them, don't feel bad, feel great, because that means you're in for a great improvement. I'm so excited to see what happens when you remedy these 8 important nutritional deficiencies to become your best you.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, thanks so much for watching. It's been Jordan Rubin, myself, Dr. Josh Axe. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Central Time with another great video. Have a great day. We'll see you then.